Hey guys, Extremely Average Man here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make your own homemade weapon light cap. And this one in particular is a 1-inch diameter, just a Surefire G2 Lex. I like just simple push cap lights. I think it's a good idea to have a weapon light really for two main reasons. The first one being in the daytime, the sunlight could reflect on the glass and give yourself away. And of course, the second reason being at night, you could accidentally push your push cap and discharge the light and also give you and possibly others away. So I think it's a very good idea to have one on there, just as a, it's kind of almost like a light safety in a way. I know there's several companies out there that make quality weapon light caps. First, the main one that comes to mind is 100 Concepts, and I'm not discrediting them. I'm sure they make a very good product. The thing is, I have 3 weapon lights on, a total of 3 of my rifles, and the thought of paying $75 plus shipping and tax just for a light cover just doesn't sit well with me, and I know I can make this nearly as good for next to nothing as well. So anyway, that's going to be the idea of this video. I'm going to show you how I made mine. So let's get into it. Alright, so for a 1-inch weapon light, I recommend a cap that's 1.5 inches in diameter. Fortunately, 1.5 inches is pretty common bottle and container size cap. So as an example, here's something that I just had laying around the house. I believe that one went to a milk jug. This one went to a jug of salad dressing, Thousand Island to be correct. This one was for a jug of gear oil for my truck. And this one went to a jug of orange juice. And out of all the caps I kind of tested out, this is the one I like the most. It's decently thick, but it's still kind of pliable. Plus, it has a little bit of rubber coating on the inside. So while this is mounted on the light, it tends not to move around as much as other caps. And since I need another one of these caps for the sake of making this video, I need to chug the rest of my orange juice. All right, now for the materials list. First up, we've got your 1.5 inch diameter cap of choice. Next up, you'll need a 1/8 inch diameter shot cord. You'll need about 1 foot or 2 of it. There's more than enough there. Need some scissors for cutting the shot cord. You'll need a drill with a 1/8 inch drill bit. And last but not least, you'll need a dark colored spray paint of your choice, or a Sharpie, or some electrical tape, or some kind of combination of all 3 of those. And I'll explain all that here in a minute. All right, now with the next step, we're gonna drill our holes. And the first one's gonna be just kind of right along the edge, just anywhere along the cap, right about there, and then directly across from it. So also right about there. Now, since these are thin and cheap caps, there's a likelihood that if you put a flashlight to it and turn it on, the light's just going to go right through it. So that's where spray paint and or electrical tape and or really anything else that you want to block the light out comes in handy. So in the next step, I'm going to throw a few coats of spray paint on this. And after 3 coats, both on the top and bottom, here it is. Put a little bit of olive drab on there just to match the paint scheme that I have going on with Mutant here. So it's gonna go on there just like that. And of course, as a final test, go somewhere dark, put the cap on, turn your weapon light on, make sure there's no light coming out. Hopefully there won't be any with this one. I mean, there might be some light coming out of those two holes, but otherwise, should be dark. And if there is some light still coming out, just add more coats of spray paint until it goes away. Alright, so the next step, we're going to take our shock cord and cut about 1.5 feet of it, like I've done so here. And we're going to affix it to the weapon line itself, but we're going to pick out a spot where it's going to stay in place. And if you look at my weapon light here, it bulges out right here, so we know that's a good spot. And that's also a permanent fixture right here, being the weapon light mount itself. So, as long as I mount it, put the cord right about here, it's going to stay in place. So, take your cord that you've cut already, 1.5 feet or so, and right here, we're just going to keep interlacing it, just like this. Keep doing that. And you're going to keep just crisscrossing it like this. So, it's about 180 degrees spaced on either side. So, do one more little loop here. Just like that, and pull it tight. Essentially, we have two ends right here. That if we take our cap, we're going to put these ends of the shock cord through the cap. And so long as we make it tight, it's going to stay right there. Alright, so take your weapon light cap, and if you need to do so, if you need to make these openings a little bit bigger, go ahead and use like an X-Acto knife or a pocket knife, and you can kind of make those openings a little bit bigger if you need to get the shock cord through. Off screen, I had to do that just because it was a little bit too tight to get this cord through. But, needless to say, should be able to push this through. I'm actually gonna cut this cordage, it's getting a little bit frayed. Pull it through that side, all right. And do the same with this side, also a little bit frayed. There we go. And in this last little adjustment, what we're going to do is pull it pretty taut. You don't want it overly tight, but you want it a little bit taut, just so it nestles itself nice and snug against your weapon light. That'll force you to have to kind of pull it and take it off. That's ideally what you want. You don't want it loose, you don't want it rattling around and such. So, again, tighten this end up to right where you want it. Pull any kind of loose cordage all the way through. Right about there, feels nice and snug. And then with these loose ends, you're just gonna tie a little knot. Make that knot nice and snug. And check to make sure your tension's good, because I like to double knot mine just for a little extra insurance. But there you go. There's your weapon light cap. As you can see, I'm definitely struggling here. I probably should cut a little bit longer of a piece to allow myself a little bit more room to double knot this, but you know, here we are. I'll get it eventually. go. Nice and taut. And there you go. Of course, once you're done, you can always cut off the excess. Put mine right about there. Right about there. And if you want, I like to do this just so it doesn't become all frayed, and also acts as a barrier in case this comes undone. But I take a little bit of good old shoe glue and just kind of throw some glue on the tip there. I should point out that the reason I went with a 1.5 inch cap is to allow the 1/8 inch diameter shock cord that's kind of internally on both sides. So right there, that's a 1/4 inch. And with that cord on either side, this does fit rather snugly. So there you go. That's how you make a weapon light cap, either in a pinch or on a budget. So long as you don't put it in line or in direct fire of your muzzle device. You shouldn't be putting your weapon light that far forward anyway. So if and when paint chips off, just reapply some spray paint, or use tape or whatever else you want to block out the light source. But anyways, I hope you guys found that useful. I'm an extremely average man, and right now I gotta go pet my dog. I'll catch you on the next one. And this one belongs to a gallon of orange. And this one belongs to oh my god.